And welcome back. A federal appeals court has rejected a plea to expand absentee voting for all age groups in Indiana. Typically, a voter under 65 needs a specific reason for needing an absentee ballot. Some voters believe that criteria should be suspended like it was during the pandemic. We go unfiltered tonight with two members of Indiana's best political team, Allie Bartlett and Destiny Wells. Good to see you both. So I want to start by getting your initial reaction to the decision. Destiny, kick us off tonight.
Well, I'm disappointed with this decision. I can't say I'm entirely surprised due to the composition of that appellate court. This is a panel, and so what you had was a two-majority panel, and then one of those judges concurring, but dissenting in part and saying that he feared that part of this was unconstitutional for those under the age of 65 and that they may be burdened. They may have child care that they have to pay for, lost wages, and so that they may have more of a hindrance in voting just because of their age. So disappointed to see it, but thankful that we have great voting advocates like Barb Tully, who brought forward this lawsuit with her fellow plaintiffs.
Allie, your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is that the court absolutely made the right call here. The 26th Amendment to the Constitution says that no one should be prohibited from voting because of their age over the age of 18. And Indiana's laws allow voting in several scenarios over the age of 18. And really, we had a lot of broad exceptions that allow people to vote by mail in many situations. If you take a look, all you have to do is fit into one of those exceptions, and the age threshold is only one of the possible exceptions.
So, Allie, it's a little hard to hear you, but I just want to ask and kind of reiterate: does this reflect maybe a bigger issue of people unable to find time to vote? Maybe, in your opinion, either one of you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Allie.
If you guys
I'll chime in since you're having sound issues, Allie. Yeah, it does. And voting is burdensome, and it's known to be burdensome, especially in Indiana. We close polls around, at 6 o'clock, actually. And so even getting to the polls after work is difficult. Judge Hamlin said, not in this opinion, but in another opinion in 2020 about voting, he said that the voting procedures don't need to be necessarily wise. So the policy need not be wise. The question is whether it's constitutional. And I'd say we have a lot of unwise policy making coming out of that supermajority Republican legislature. Let's not forget that 65 and older tend to vote Republican. So there is no surprise that they try to skew this law in favor of bulking up their votes at the polls.
Allie, your response.
Yeah, I would absolutely disagree with that. As I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping my audio is a little bit better now. Indiana actually has very broad exceptions that allow people to vote by mail. All you have to do is fall into one of those categories. And otherwise, let's not forget that you can actually vote for almost an entire month before Election Day in the state of Indiana. It's not just Election Day, although the exceptions to allow you to vote by mail do apply only to Election Day. So even if you are capable of getting there for almost an entire month before Election Day, you can still fall into a category that would allow you to vote by mail if you can't make it on Election Day for the 12 hours that the polls are open. There's honestly no reason here that people should feel that they are being restricted to vote at all. Indiana's laws are very broad. We're making exceptions left and right to help people be able to exercise their right to vote. And I think that the court upheld the legislative intent here of Indiana's law very correctly. It's not unconstitutional. If you're above the age of 18 in Indiana, we're going to get you to the polls to vote up until a month before. And in a lot of counties where there's vote centers, you can vote anywhere in your county on Election Day. Yeah. It's not just one polling location.
There are many states throughout the U.S. that allow no fall absentee voting. Everyone can vote absentee. So Indiana actually is not that broad at all. We, again, are behind the curve.
I don't think that the state of Indiana needs to allow people to vote in absentee no matter what, when we have made it incredibly easy for people to get out to the polls and exercise their right to vote. I mean, it's honestly just a way for the Democratic Party to be searching for elections that they can't win in the state of Indiana.
We were able to hear you much more clearly that time, Allie, both times, actually. Thank you so much. Good conversation, ladies. As always, we look forward to furthering this discussion in the future. Thank you so much for joining us on UnPHILtered tonight. Thank you.